the very illustrious Professor Ilia Rashad Muhammad. Let's give it a hand. All praises be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Let us begin in the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, the all-wise, true, and living God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. We speak of the same God who is descender of all of the prophets, whether it's Moses and the prophets of the Old Testament and the scriptures that came with them, be it the New Testament and the revelation of Jesus, or whether it is Muhammad and the revelation of the Holy Quran. Peace be upon all these worthy servants of God. Now, we are living in the year 2026,
Yes,
and we would be remiss if we did not thank God for his intervention in our affairs. Because it's one thing to say that God did all these magnificent things yesteryears and in the days past. Oh, he saved Moses and the children of Israel. And he did this with Joshua. And I mean, we can run it down, especially here in the South now.
That's right. That's right.
But we would be in error if we think that God had all that juice then with nothing today. So we thank God tremendously for fulfilling what he said he was going to do. And he came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. And he didn't just come, but he did a work. Okay, there we go. Did I mess something up? But he did a work that is a mighty work.
Yes, sir.
There we go. A mighty work that is also foretold. For he raised a man among us, a man who would not just be his messenger, and there's contention in the religious world with that, but we're talking about God coming in person and raising up a man who would ultimately become that messianic figure that the world of religion has been awaiting. That man we speak of is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
The man they never told you about properly anyway, in school, certainly in the religious world. But we are so thankful that God has extended his mercy and fulfilled what he said he was going to do, and raising up such a divine man. But again, this world has yet to realize the majesty and the verity of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Although he is recognized by his enemies, the most powerful government in the world, as becoming the most powerful black man in America.
That's right.
But despite all of that, you still don't hear nothing about him, right?
That's right.
So we thank God for continuing his love and his mercy, for raising up one who is the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is making the commission and the truth of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad known. And that is our dear brother and friend, the champion of truth, who also works in that messianic line. I'm speaking of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So dear brothers and sisters, on this beautiful day after the storm, let me greet you with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Certainly thankful for your time and your attention, and even for making it here, despite the challenges that our city faces, despite the challenges that our world faces. I don't know how many trees or tree branches you had to run over just making it here today. I had a few.
Yes, sir.
But we thank you. Can you give yourselves a round of applause for making it? All right. Now check this out. We do have a very, very powerful and important yet difficult subject that we want to go over today. We titled it, He Calls for Elijah. And in such a title, as some of you may be familiar, it kind of stems from that biblical verse in the New Testament when Jesus is being crucified, he's being humiliated, he's being tortured. And while this is taking place, the crowd hears him, and some of them think that he says that he's calling for Elijah.
That's right. That's right.
So there's a situation that is very crucial and dire. In fact, in the religious world, this is perhaps the most critical episode in history and prophecy. Now, I'm here in the South in Memphis. This is the Bible Belt. Some say the buckle on the Bible Belt.
Yes.
And you know that as Christians, this is central to Christianity.
Yes, sir.
The belief in the resurrection, the belief in the crucifixion, and all the scenarios surrounding that, and the deeper meaning of what it represents, which is supposed to be salvation for the world, right?
Yes, sir.
Can I get an amen? I know y'all in here so used to being Muslims now, but all y'all came from the church, so quit fronting now. So if you want to say amen, then feel free to say amen. But this is a critical topic, and it comes at a critical time, because what you'll find is that those who have come to help us, those revolutionaries, whether they know it or not, whether they believe in Jesus or not, whether they are religious or not, when you've had those revolutionary voices that have earnestly came and given their life for the rise of our people, they follow that path of that Messiah figure.
Yes, sir.
So we want to look at that, but really more specifically, we want to look at that scenario as it plays out right before our eyes. And in order to understand that, we have to know and understand something about prophecy.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is very important, and this is one of those reasons why so many people of religion, people outside of religion, they do not understand the Nation of Islam, because they really do not understand prophecy.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is a subject in and of itself, but I'm just going to kind of gloss over just to get some key points. But most of the religious world does not understand the time that we're living in, because most religious adherents, be it Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and otherwise, we have this belief in the scriptures, but we have this idea that this took place yesterday.
That's right. That's right.
Not knowing that the prophets are called prophets because they are blessed by God to prophesy.
That's right. Come on now.
The prophets are not called historians.
That's right.
That's right. Go ahead, man.
So even though it is written in story form, much of what was taking place are stories and scenarios giving us a prophetic picture, but we may not be able to understand prophecy. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated these words. He said, "There never was a false prophet to the people in the past, and this is not one standing before you.
Come on.
Come on.
Some of the things that I do, you may label as being other than right. But that's just because you have not really read the scriptures. You haven't learned what the last man should look like, what he should do, and that the book teaches you he is a fulfiller, and you don't take time to read what a fulfiller is."
Come on. Yes, sir.
This is a powerful quote
Yes, sir.
that will disturb the world of religion.
Yes, sir.
But it's not necessarily to disturb. It would give understanding to the world of religion if you understood what a fulfiller actually is.
Come on, Professor.
If you think that what you're reading in the Bible and Quran, all of that happened yesterday, we are already lost and we've missed the mark.
That's right. That's right.
These are stories, but they are prophecies. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us this clear, very important point, that most of what you read in the scriptures is prophecy.
Yes, sir.
About 75%. That's a bulk. And only 25% is historical.
Yes, sir.
So yes, these prophets existed, these persons existed, but all the stories and scenarios surrounding that, a lot of that didn't happen. Now, that's hard for religious folk. Oh, don't you say that. I believe in the Lord. I believe in my Bible now. So before he get ready to whoop on us now. Just try to bear with us.
That's right. That's right.
Understand, it's not like the scriptures is telling us lies. No, they are giving us prophetic stories.
Yes, sir.
And many of the prophets did exist, but everything you read about them and the scenarios did not necessarily exist, especially the way that a lot of the stories are written. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it's really because you can't read. Now, that not to sound insulting, because some of you are, well, most of you, all of you are intelligent people.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think the fact that you're here is a testament to that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I know you got your college degree and you think you know everything, but he's not an insult. He's not insulting us that we can't read, but we have not been taught how to read prophecy.
That's right.
So in theological schools, we have, brilliant theological scholars who are versed in homiletics and hermeneutics and all of this, and they can run down the scriptures and even give you some context and lessons. We have great theologians and religious leaders among us.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
But the missing thing is that you think that happened yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And because of that, you miss the fulfillment right in front of your eyes. So this is why it has become extremely difficult for people, especially in the religious world, to understand the Nation of Islam. Because if you really understood what you say you believe in these scriptures, you would have no problem bearing witness to everything the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has been teaching us.
Yes, sir.
Because it is validated in the real world. So we hope to give a lot of real world context to what we're saying, and we don't want you to feel as though this is some abstract religious thought where, we just talk about God and believing in God in your mind and in your heart, where God and your belief in God is subjected, to your personal ideas and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Rather, we want to show God in the real world. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, now you really have to know how to read prophecy. So the Honorable Minister Farrakhan further corroborates that notion when he tells us, he says that, look, your spooky minds need to be awakened to the reality of the mathematics of the Holy Quran and the mathematics involved in the teachings of the prophets of God, even though they used allegorical language. Now, as a literacy instructor, this is a challenge that the world, especially our youth, have now.
Yes, sir.
Reading.
Yes. Yes.
Very much.
Johnny can't read.
Not just reading in the phonetic, phonic sense, but really grasping the nuances of language. So since there is a deficit in society when it comes to really reading, it becomes even more difficult to read and understand the scriptures that we've been believing in all this time.
Yes, sir.
Because the scriptures too use allegories and symbolisms and metaphors and similes and synecdoches and metonymies and all these other literary devices we forgot about, right?
That's right.
But our spooky minds, we have to have a re-evaluation and re-shifting in the way we even look and approach the scriptures in order to really get what we could get out of it. So you'll notice that even though we all believe in God, it just seems like it's something, there's still this void that needs to be fulfilled,
Sure.
Like I get it. I get what preacher's saying, and he got a good message now, but it's still just that something where I don't get it.
Is that possible?
And I'm going to tell you, this is not to sound arrogant, but the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad fills that void.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
This is real now.
Yes, sir.
And it's not in a sense where, okay, he's telling you this what it means and just some religious interpretation. No, it's showing you some real world fulfillment of everything you've been reading about. And sometimes hooping over. But there has to be a rechange and a reshift in the way that we approach it. And when we do that, we can start to see ourselves in prophecy and be able to see the time that we're living in much easier. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, again, we still on this understanding prophecy piece, because that's huge.
Yes, sir.
Again, this little time that I'm allotting to the prophetic side of things really doesn't give it justice. This is volumes of something that is actually discussed in theological circles.
Yes, sir.
Many of the theologians in both Judaism and Christianity, they study this, but this is not the same thing that they come and preach about on Sundays or Saturdays.
Right.
But in those theological circles, many of them do understand, okay, this didn't happen then.
Yes, sir.
There's no historical verification or indication that such happened historically. You know, so they know that there is a conflict between history and prophecy that they have not been able to reconcile.
Come on.
They're not going to come before you, the congregation, to do that. On Sundays, you get to hear the preacher talk about, you know, giving your life to the Lord and, you know, all that's the good stuff there. But the real serious stuff, you don't know nothing about that.
That's right.
Come on now. Come on.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that, but the so-called Negroes are blinded with a picture of the Jews' salvation and cannot see their own selves in prophecy.
Man, come on. Look at that.
You know, up until recently, most black Christians,
That's right.
we believe that those white Europeans claiming Israel, we thought they were the Jews.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right. Still.
And they would argue with us up and down, boy.
Yes, sir.
Be ready to fight us.
Yes, sir.
We just have, okay. But I think humanity is starting to realize that, whoa, them ain't even the real Jews.
That's right.
These Europeans, you know.
Yes, sir.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the nation, been at the forefront of this for years now.
Yes, sir.
And he was telling you, look, you thinking what you read about some Jews being in bondage for 400 years under Pharaoh, and God delivers them, and after their 400-year plus servitude to another people, sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
Enslaved to another people, and then God raises Moses and an Aaron to go and tell Pharaoh, the president, the government, let my people go.
Let my people go. That's right.
He's coming with this unpopular truth to separate,
Yes, sir.
not integrate,
That's right.
No,
Go
sir.
ahead.
not
Go
we
ahead.
shall
No,
overcome.
sir.
But the biblical stories tell us that God raised man to separate from their oppressors.
That's right.
Ooh,
Go
wee.
ahead.
So no wonder you don't understand the Nation of Islam. You don't understand the own book you say you believe in. Look at you.
Yes.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that, look, we've been blinded with a picture of the Jews' salvation and cannot see our own selves in prophecy. He said, if you did, you should shout with joy over the understanding that God has and is causing me to give them of the book.
Wow.
If you knew better, you would be shouting up and down over what God gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad
That's right.
for us.
That's right. That's right.
You really would. And there's a reason, as I alluded earlier, why they never tell you about him in your schools.
Yes, sir.
Now get this, I'm an educator. This is really an insult to all of our intelligence as black folks, as thinking people, period. Now here this man became the most powerful black man in America with the most opposition against him now.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Come on.
No black leader before or afterwards, with the exception of Minister Farrakhan, has had this much attacks from the most powerful government in the world aimed against him.
Yes, sir.
But despite all of that, he became the most powerful black man in America, telling the government and white folks, you are the devil.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
How the hell?
Come on. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Creating an independent empire, influencing the most influential thinkers in black America, but they deliberately and selectively exclude him from anything in public schools,
That's right.
Always.
That's right.
even during Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
You know, I took pictures. I'm going to do a subject on this in the very near future. I look at all the banners that they have in Black History Month, and they show many of our great leaders and celebrities. And it's like a pantheon. I've seen so many different posters, so many different banners, so many different even murals.
Yes, sir.
In the schools and whatnot, and they have everybody, folks they ain't never heard of, many of whom are celebrities, not just leaders. But you know who they will never have?
Come on.
The man who has done more than all of those others put together.
Yes, sir.
Because you won't find where any of them, as great as our leaders and celebrities are, you will not find where they have used their resources, their talents, and even their money or positions to try to bring black people out of the clutches of a white supremacist system.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Because he aimed for independence from the devil,
That's right.
from white folks,
That's right. Go ahead.
from their construct, which is why he became the most powerful, mind you, because you can never achieve true freedom, justice, and equality under the construct of white America.
No, sir.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
That's right.
I know that sounds controversial, but that's impossible.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
So all of our leaders and celebrities, they are approved of
Yes.
because they are not threatening to white folks' power base. But this man right here,
Come on.
you bet not.
That's right.
His student and representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who too has done more than any of these so-called celebrities and leaders.
Come on now.
Who do you know has withstood these attacks and misinformation and monitoring from the most powerful government in the world and still come out successful?
That's right. That's right.
Look, some of my young folk, you wasn't even born, but look, I remember just even during the Million Man March.
Oh, man.
Now, all those other marches, this is not my subject, but I'm just giving you some context.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
By the way, what was the point I was about to make before I started acting silly? Yes. Even with the Million Man March, here's the largest, most powerful, most peaceful
Yes, sir.
demonstration of black unity in the history of the modern world.
Yes, sir.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Led by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And don't you know what? It's not even in your history book.
No, sir.
Wow.
No, sir.
Don't even mention it. It's the out of sight, out of mind thing. That is deliberate.
Yes, sir.
That is intentional.
Yes.
And the effect that it has is that if you, our youth especially, can't see models and don't have the examples of what true power looks like, then we'll look at whoever the enemy props up in front of us and say, hell, this is your leader. This is who you need to be like.
Come on. That's
So
right.
sad, so sad.
See? And for the most part, that's what we've had. Not all of them. Many of them are good. But when they start getting out of their lane and start becoming more bolder, that's when the enemy comes, oh, you better get in your place, nigga. Yeah, you think you're going to do? I done gave you this airtime and gave you this platform,
Yes, sir.
let you get millions of dollars, and you going to think you can be
Yes, sir.
associate with them black Muslims. Boy, I wish you would. You'll get canceled.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Shadow ban.
thank you.
Go
Getting
ahead.
back to this, but the importance of prophecy and understanding that most of what we read did not take place historically. Now, check this out. This is not something that the Nation of Islam are the only ones to recognize. Practically every historian, and even most theological historians worth his or her salt will tell you the same thing.
That's right. Go ahead.
I'm reminded of this Jewish scholar, Zioni Zevit. He states that the biblical narratives, the biblical stories, are not historiography in the modern sense. Bible stories aren't history the way we think they are.
Yes, sir.
They are theological constructs, narratives written long after the events they purport to describe, shaped to convey ideological and religious truths rather than factual data.
Hey, look at that.
In other words, it's just a nice way of intellectually saying most of that stuff didn't happen.
Yes, sir.
But you know, they have to put it in that nice scholarly language, right? See, the theological historiography constructs are more theological.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, bruh.
Yes, sir. That's right. Call it what it is.
For real. But they all bear witness to it.
Yes, sir.
So most of the time, when people want to have a discussion with or about the Nation of Islam, they sometimes might not agree to deal with it in intellectual terms, you know.
Yeah.
They'll come to us where the Bible said it, this and this and that, and y'all don't do it like this, so therefore y'all ain't going about it, you know, just any little excuse or reasoning, not even looking at the real data that you need to be looking at, you know. But since we're dealing with prophecy,
Come on.
it becomes so difficult to actually see the fulfillment of prophecy, especially when you are in the midst of it.
Ooh, come on now. Come on.
Forest for the trees.
You know how we talk about the Exodus? There's no theological scholar or historian that believes the Exodus in the Bible actually took place.
That's right. Go ahead.
That's real.
That is.
Believers believe it took place then in Egypt, you know, these millions of people in bondage, and God raised Moses and they crossed the Red Sea. You know the story. You learned it all your life.
That's right. We can wipe Charles Nest.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But no historian, all historians pretty much recognize there's no historical verification for that story.
Yes.
So if it didn't happen then,
Come on. Come
when?
on. Come
Come
on.
on.
Who fulfills that?
That's right. Why is it there?
So the Nation of Islam has been telling you, no, these black people that you've had in bondage for all these years, this is the fulfillment of that.
Yes, sir.
These are
Yes,
the
sir.
people of God.
Yes, sir.
It didn't happen yesterday, but it's definitely happening today.
That's right. That's right.
And this is something we have to look at critically, because the scriptures tell us that God intervenes.
That's right.
After 400 some odd years of their servitude, then God comes on the scene and he greets and meets Moses, according to the Bible, face to face,
That's right.
as a friend speaketh to his own friend.
Come on. Come on.
So now God comes and gives Moses the solutions as to what to do to lead these people into their true freedom. And you know the story. These people, they call the children of Israel, gave
Yes, sir.
Moses and them hell.
That's right.
They were so used to Pharaoh's way that even after God showed his power and delivered them from Pharaoh's main grip, they still had this idea that, man, shoot, you got us out here wandering in the wilderness, man. We had it better when we were with Pharaoh now. At least I had benefits and stuff, man. You ain't got benefits, man. You ain't even got 401k, man. Man, Moses with that stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, the Memphis had to come out just a little bit.
Go
But
ahead, Professor.
this is the same mindset. This is what you're seeing today.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man, y'all Nation of Islam talking about separation. Separate from who? How you gonna live without the white man?
Yes, sir.
Where you get your suit from, brother? You know,
Where you
see?
going? Where you going?
Don't even have the idea that we can exist without your oppressor.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's sad now.
It is.
But to think that it happened then and it didn't, and we miss the real world fulfillment when we're right in the midst of it.
Yes,
sir.
yes.
See, that's the funny thing about prophecy and fulfillment. When you are in the midst of it, it's very difficult to see it.
Very.
That's why generations afterwards can look back and be like, oh yeah, and get a better understanding of the situation. You see? So we can look back on prophets and the stories and stuff now and be like, oh, okay, it makes sense. We can look back on history and see, oh, this is what happened.
Yes.
Very few are able to understand the time of prophecy while we're in it.
Yes, sir.
Again, that's a heavy thing. But these prophecies, now our subject is, he calls for Elijah.
Come on.
We're going to bring it to that, and I hope I can not take too long. See, the
got
problem is that I'm an educator and a preacher.
Come on, come on. Lord, have mercy.
amongst
So I'm going to talk too much. I'm always trying to explain stuff and get my point across. So y'all have to bear with me. The goal is to get us out of here before 12 o'clock. And
That's right.
I'm going to try, y'all.
Go ahead, Professor. Take your time, brother.
Look, my lights was off, so I ain't in no rush to get back home anyway. So in these prophecies, some of the main prophecies is the expectation. We know that the prophecies of Bible and Quran all show that one day God is going to intervene in person, by the way.
That's right. That's right.
Most people totally miss that.
Yes, sir.
But God is going to come in person. Bible, Holy Quran, all of it teach the same thing.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
He's going to raise his Messiah. His Messiah figure is going to go through some tremendous trials. But those trials are necessary in order to make the truth of God known and ultimately established. It's a crazy kind of scenario where God's servant has to go through some stuff and even be humiliated. And after the humiliation and the going through the portal of death,
Come on.
then and only then it seems as though the world might get it after the fact. Oh, so there was a man of God, huh?
That's what the book said.
It's exactly what it
Yes,
says.
sir.
Then they will know that a prophet was among them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See?
Yep.
After all of this. Because most people couldn't see it in the midst of it.
Yes, sir.
That's the picture you get of Jesus in the New Testament.
Come on.
Why you think he only had a handful of disciples?
That's right.
And half of them were crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Think about it.
Some of them turned on him.
Yeah.
Now today we look at everybody. You got over 1 billion people claiming Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Yes.
billions, because the Muslims believe in Jesus too. So everybody claiming Jesus.
That's right.
But during the time he was on the earth, it wasn't but a few.
Yes, sir.
Very.
Yes, sir.
And he was hated.
Yes, sir. Come on.
He was the #1 target.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You see how history and prophecy and fulfillment works?
Man.
So if we can get, as the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said, that mathematical kind of eye and mind to be able to see and understand prophecy as we're living through it, then you might be all right. But there's this expectation in all the world of religion for this figure known as Elijah to come.
That's right.
And he is so significant, not just because his name is Elijah. He is significant because this figure is the vessel that God uses to set off the judgment, to set off the resurrection, to set off what they call the messianic age. God is going to raise up this man by the name of Elijah, and Elijah is going to initiate the judgment of the
Yes, sir.
world.
Come on. Come on.
He's going to bring on or herald the Messiah. And if you want to check in your Christian scholars, Jewish scholars, they all say the same thing. Even though the Jews don't think Jesus is the Messiah, they do believe that a Messiah is to come.
Yes, sir.
And they are expecting Elijah to bring in that messianic age. That is based on the prophecies in Malachi, where the Old Testament closes out. In Malachi, with that prophecy that before the great and dreadful day of the Lord,
That's right.
I will send you who?
Elijah.
And this prophet Elijah, this person Elijah, is going to restore the hearts of the children to their fathers and fathers to their children, lest I smite the earth with a curse.
Come on now. Come on.
So until I bring up Elijah to do these things,
That's right.
if y'all don't feel what Elijah's doing, then that's going to bring down the judgment even more. Because I'm going to use this figure as my man to serve as like the axis of the changing of worlds.
Come on now. Look at that.
Some heavy stuff, yo.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So he's expected to come. And the Elijah is not going to be the same body of the prophet that existed 3,000 some odd years ago.
Yes, sir.
But that's why your Christian and Jewish scholars say that it's going to be a person with what they call the spirit of Elijah.
Yes, yes.
He's going to have the same characteristics and scenarios as the Elijah you read of in the Bible stories, which is prophecy.
Prophecy.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So in the Bible, Elijah is a serious figure, man. He ain't no lightweight dude at all.
No, sir.
You know he can't be lightweight if the whole judgment is to be initiated. God is going to use him to bring in the judgment and the Messiah.
Come on.
So this is a heavyweight right here.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's right.
But if you look at the characteristics of the Bible story, which are all prophetic, we find that Elijah, he is a major type of prophet in that he doesn't just come telling the people, thus saith the Lord, but he challenges the kings and the rulers,
Yes, sir.
That's right.
telling them, no, you're wrong.
That's right. Go ahead.
And he comes challenging the existing society and the king and the rulers, basically telling them, you got the wrong God.
Come on. Come on.
Ooh.
Look at that.
To the point where the false prophets, the Baal prophets, and those religious folks who were following the tradition of that Israel that had gone astray under the king Ahab and all of this, you know, they were cutting up. They believed in a spook god.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
But God raises Elijah with the truth of the true and living God, and he challenges society to prove that their spook god exists.
Come on now.
Y'all remember a preacher going through this story in Sunday school or on Sundays in the book of Kings with Elijah and the Baal prophets at Mount Carmel?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So there was a showdown that had to take place.
That's right. That's right.
Long story short, you had all these hundreds of false prophets claiming that Baal or their God was God. And you had this Elijah on the other side saying, nope, I represent the true and living God.
Yes, sir.
A God who can respond in the real world. So the showdown was such that, okay, we're going to meet at Mount Carmel. We're going to pray for God to show his signs in the real world with fire coming from heaven and whatnot. And we're going to pray, and if our God responds, then it'll show that our God is God.
Yes, sir.
And if you pray, Elijah, to your God, and your God responds from heaven, then we'll know that your God is the true and living God.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Elijah was like, for real? Hey, let's do this, bro. That's all I've been wanting. See?
Wait for
I
it.
have to make it somewhat comical, you know.
Go ahead.
But that's the spirit of Elijah.
Yes, sir.
Here's a man, and just so you know now, the Nation of Islam, we are most distinct from everybody on the planet in this one major category. We believe and we say that Elijah Muhammad met God in person.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
whoa, hold
Yes,
up.
sir.
The Muslim world don't like that.
That's right.
No,
The
sir.
Christian world don't like that.
Come on.
The Jewish, Judaic, Hebrew world don't like that.
Come on.
Negroes don't like
Like that.
that. You know, he says, Elijah Muhammad says that not only did he meet the all-wise, true and living God in person, but he was taught by him
That's right.
for 3.5 years.
That's right.
God came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad
Yes, sir.
and taught Elijah Muhammad the secrets that were unknown to the universe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is in the early 1930s now.
That's right. That's
And
right.
just so you know, and I have to keep doing these tangents, giving a little background.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, things about the origins of humanity, the origins of the races,
Yes. Yes.
astronomical sciences,
Yes.
the origin of the planets,
Yeah.
Come on.
how some of the planets were formed, how the moon was formed,
Yes, sir.
involved the reality of what white folks now call UFOs and UAP.
That's right. That's
But
right.
it was the Nation of Islam that introduced this reality to the world,
That's right. That's
and it's
right.
on record.
Come on now.
But you don't hear nobody talking about that. These are some of the proofs and secrets that he met God in person.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
couldn't nobody give Elijah Muhammad this kind of truth that became scientifically verified decades after the fact.
That's right.
See?
That's right.
So when we come with this, we coming with some real stuff now.
Yes, sir.
That's why we try to be nice, but we challenge any damn body on this.
Yes, sir.
For real.
Go ahead, Professor.
I know that may stand like, oh, these folk just talking stuff. Ain't nothing but 12 people in that room, man. But look, we've been on this for 96 years.
Yes, sir.
And ain't nobody been able to disprove what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got from Allah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. And his representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in that same line, has been challenging the world on this regard.
Yes, sir.
But you know what everybody will do? They'll find anything to talk about except this.
That's right.
Yes.
Talk about your mouth.
Y'all kill Malcolm.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then even the damn government come out and say, well, you know, the FBI and the New York Police Department boss, you know, we were the ones that set Malcolm up. But you ain't hear nothing about that.
Never.
Damn court cases prove that, but you still over there in your little corner. That they still had something to do with it. Nigga.
Come on, man.
As if the Nation of Islam is some punk like you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hell, if we did kill somebody, do you think we would run from it?
Come on.
Real.
Come on.
No, that's a real question.
That's right.
No, sir. No, sir. What you gonna do about it?
Hell, you still scared to call the white man a devil.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
You
right.
still 2026, afraid to recognize who and what the synagogue of Satan is.
Yes, sir.
Because you scared you're going to get called anti-Semitic. And we've been on this for 96 damn years,
Yes, sir.
and you think if we did something, we would run from it.
Come on.
No, you judging us because you a punk.
That's right. That's right.
And you think because you a punk, we supposed to be like you. Please. That's not my subject, but I think I just had to get that out.
Go ahead, Professor.
But Elijah's expected. And this Elijah, we want to examine some of the characteristics of the biblical Elijah so that we can be able to recognize this figure that God would raise when he's among us.
Yes, sir.
And don't have to wait decades after the fact and be like, oh, you know what, God did raise him and teach him.
Yes.
No, we showing you in real time.
Yes, sir.
Show it,
Our
proof,
teeth.
man.
This is why in the Jewish tradition, during the Jewish observance of Passover,
Yes, sir.
the Seder tradition, every year the Jews are expecting Elijah.
That's right. That's right.
So they'll set a table with a feast and a thing of wine, and they'll leave a door partly open because every Passover the Jews are expecting the return of Elijah.
That's right.
Why are they expecting Elijah?
Come on.
Because the Elijah of the Bible does not die the way that ordinary people die, but instead of dying, he is taken up and rescued on some type of aircraft of God.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Teach them.
Go ahead.
Look at that. Come on, Professor.
Well, hold up. You mean the whole world of Judaism is awaiting a figure from 3,000 years ago, or at least the spirit of a figure from 3,000 years ago in human form,
That's right.
under the definitive name Elijah, whose God operates from heavenly flying aircraft that is capable of rescuing him from death threats.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
but if you believe that happened then with no proof whatsoever, and you looking at the Nation of Islam crazy,
Come on, man.
when we talk about Elijah Muhammad, who met the real God, who operates with some real mechanical flying aircraft,
That's right.
fulfilling what you say you believe in, look, something wrong with you, not us.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
You, not us. But you don't want to deal with us. Now remember, up until probably maybe 15 years ago, since the 1930s when we introduced this, the Nation of Islam had been mocked, ridiculed. We've been talking, look, they talk about us crazy.
That's right.
Up until maybe about 15 years ago when it became so obvious that these things exist now.
Yes, sir.
Prior to then, right here in Memphis, and I'm certain all of y'all probably heard something like this. They said, man, the Muslim, the nation, man, them niggas believe in spaceships.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right. That's what
You
they
know
say.
it.
Come on.
That was the one that said it to me. But thank God he's in the nation now. No, but for a lot of people, that sounded crazy as hell before the evidence became obvious. So they would say that, man. I'm cool. I love Bro Farrakhan and them. I love the brothers and sisters in the nation, but man, they kind of out there.
Yes, sir.
They believe in these wheel-shaped spaceships, and man, I just stick with my Jesus that I don't know nothing about. Even though the scripture said that Jesus was rescued too when he went up in a cloud,
That's right.
and he's expected to return in like manner.
Yes, sir.
But you can't explain that. What took him up on the cloud?
Come on, come on.
What's going to bring him back through the clouds?
Come on.
See? I'm sorry, the nation's just too real for you.
Yes, sir. That's what
You much rather have religion where you don't have to think.
That's right.
You much rather have a God where you don't have to think about nothing, just believe. Ain't nothing got to make sense.
Come on now.
But then you come with this God, with this mathematical theology, making all the sense in the world that your scientists can't disprove. I don't want that. Hell no. Let me do what I want to do. So there's an expectation for this Elijah.
Yes, sir.
And just to be clear, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not bite his tongue at all.
Oh, no, sir.
He put the world on notice by letting them know, letting us know, I am that Elijah.
Yes, sir.
He said, it is up to you to listen, and as you listen, read and remember. If God says in the Bible, before that dreadful day shall come, I will send you Elijah, he's telling you plainly, I am that Elijah.
That's right. That's right.
He's not just talking.
No, sir.
This is not meaningless rhetoric. This is a man who is showing you with real world evidence that he is fulfilling the most important parts of the prophecies that you've been hooping and slobbing over
Come on.
all this time.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, the intelligent thing to do would not be to just dismiss it because it don't sound good to you. The intelligent thing to do would be to, you know what? Let's examine this.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir.
Let's make it make
Elijah Muhammad, you say you're the Elijah of the Bible and you're fulfilling these prophecies right before our eyes, and that this is the time and this is the people of prophecy and whatnot. What evidence do you have?
Come on.
You know? Now, some people would ask that, and then when you start presenting the evidence, you don't want to hear it no more.
I'll go too far.
If anybody's in here is married, and that's most of us, you know that when your husband and wife have disagreements, sometimes,
That's right. Go ahead.
I don't know, I ain't finna get in trouble. I ain't gonna get in trouble. But sometimes when we are having heated discussions, sometimes there's a failure to look at the facts.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Because emotions could be involved.
Most times.
On both parts. On both
Yes,
parts.
sir. Both sides.
His wife gonna be mad. Was he talking about me? See, I knew I ain't like those black ass. But he's telling you, I am that Elijah.
Yes, sir.
Now he brings real world fulfillment. As we stated earlier, the Elijah of the Bible, hell, all of the major prophets and scriptures of the Bible and Quran show you that God and his angels operate through some flying vehicles in the air.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all throughout your Bible, and it is in the Holy Quran as well.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
To the point where religious folk don't even want to deal with this topic.
That's
Come
right.
on, come on. They just leave them alone.
Which shows you, and the reason they are reluctant is because this topic nullifies their theological beliefs. It nullifies those traditions that you've been believing of a spook kind of God, some abstract God who doesn't operate in the real world, like Elijah's God.
Right.
That's what the whole showdown at Mount Carmel was.
Yes.
Elijah prayed to his God, and his God responded in the real world.
That's right.
And it was clear that his God is the true and living God.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
because of real world fulfillment.
Come on now.
Now, I don't have time to go over this today, but if you don't know, and so many of our works and books and projects and documentaries and lectures go into great detail of the history, proving that the Nation of Islam was the first and remain the only ones to give definitive details and answers about what the world calls unidentified flying objects.
Yes, sir.
What the world calls unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The nation is at the center of this because God in person, who is responsible for those crafts, literally showed it
That's right.
to Elijah Muhammad
That's right.
in the early 1930s.
Yes, sir.
Before there was even a term called UFO.
That's right.
Before there was a term flying saucers. Before any mass sightings. Before any major governmental concerns or military encounters. It was the Nation of Islam where Master Farrakhan Muhammad showed his messenger, Elijah Muhammad, the reality of this huge wheel-shaped craft called the mother plane or the mothership or mother wheel, which houses 1,500 smaller wheel-shaped crafts that fly at phenomenal speeds. These are what you call UFOs today,
Yes, sir.
flying saucers and whatnot. But in the early 1930s, the nation was on the only ones on record talking about this.
That's right. That's right.
To the point where we were called a voodoo cult.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's what they call it.
If you read the newspapers and even some of the sociological studies in the 1930s, they were calling us a voodoo cult because of this strange teaching that nobody had heard of before. See, this is how God proves himself. Not with belief, not with suppositions, not with pontifications, but with real world evidence. So now the government and the media at that time has the nation on record for being a voodoo cult and crazy because they believe in these wheels and stuff.
Yes.
But then years later,
Come on.
everything he taught became confirmed, and now you don't even hear the nation when it comes to the UFO talk. They leave us completely out of it.
Come on. Come on. Look at that.
And we've been telling the world, no, we have answers. They ain't no unidentified to us. We know exactly what they are.
That's right.
We know who they are. We know what they can do and what they will do one
That's
day.
right.
Yes, sir.
See, this is not some lightweight information, mind you. This is world news.
Yes. Yes.
But just like they keep the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from us in school, just as they keep the Honorable Minister Farrakhan from us in school and everywhere else, the teachings, which is the most empowering teachings. I mean, if black folk knew that we have a God on our side that's in the real world, that is more powerful than all of our oppressors combined,
Yes.
all Western and Eastern militaries combined.
Come on.
Don't you know that all the other governments and militaries, their top priority, what scares them is the reality of these wheels
That's right.
that
Yes,
Master
sir.
Farrakhan Muhammad brought
Yes.
for you?
Come on now.
See, that's why, they looked at us crazy, but we try to be nice, but in truth, if your God
Come on.
don't have some of these wheels,
Come on, man.
flying aircraft,
That's right.
you are not following the God of the Bible or the God of the Holy Quran.
Ooh, come on, man.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Deal with that.
Yes, sir.
But see, you don't want to. So it's better to just ignore the subject altogether and be distracted with other non-essentials and other information. You worried about who scored the most points last night or what's in the news now, some celebrity news, what Diddy did. No.
Yeah, what I've heard.
So we're looking at the real world fulfillment of this Elijah who represents the true and living God. And again, we're challenging the world, not just of religion. We're challenging the secular scholars,
Yes, sir.
and they have not responded. and they refuse to respond.
That's right.
They haven't responded to the call and challenges of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for decades.
That's right.
That's right.
Come on, been trying to have a show.
And now that the minister is being quiet, they won't even respond to his students.
Come on, look at that. Look at that. Come on.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Students take care of the lightweight.
He calls for Elijah, y'all. That's my subject. I hadn't even got, I hope I get to the point where he calls for Elijah. But we're looking at those characteristics of Elijah in the Bible. Elijah of the Bible was so controversial because he disturbed the order of the day of the king and queen, Jezebel, I think that's who it was. And he disturbed the order of that fallen Israel that they called him the troubler of Israel. He prayed to his God and he said that there would be famine and drought in the land and that your kingdom was going to fall. Basically, he's proclaiming the judgment.
Yes.
And because he's telling you that your country and your nation is going to fall, oh, you can't be saying that about king. That's un-American.
That's right. That's
So
right.
they called him the troubler of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He ain't doing nothing but causing trouble. He's controversial. You're anti-Semitic. That's reverse racism.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All of that.
Plus, y'all killed Malcolm, bro. They gonna throw something in there, you know.
You gotta say something.
Y'all Scientologists, anything to keep you from dealing with the truth.
Yes, sir.
See? So Elijah is targeted by kings and rulers as the troubler of Israel because his preaching of God's judgment through drought, famine, and the fall threatened their rule. I'm reminded of this political cartoon, and you know journalism. In journalism, there is this idea, well, in period, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
That's right.
So those political cartoons allow people to say things without having to write or verbalize it. It captures the sentiments
Yes, sir.
of people, especially those that put forth. Now, this was in Esquire magazine, 1964, and it has a litany of world leaders. This is before our time, y'all. President Charles de Gaulle of France and Moshe Dayan of Israel, and even some celebrities, Liberace, whatnot, you know. These are world leaders, right? And they are concerned about the state of their falling world. Be mindful, Esquire magazine. This is what white folks were reading
Yeah.
and still reading. Back when people used to read, by the way. So,
Yeah.
you know, long time ago. Who does that, right? But people were reading Esquire magazine. This was giving an alarm to white America and the Western world, for that matter, because you have these white Western world leaders in this political cartoon led by Charles de Gaulle of France, and he's pointing to the only black person in the audience, which is Elijah Muhammad.
That's right. That's right.
Clearly distinct, because there's nobody, then or now, where that fed with the star and the crescent, except the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with the bow tie.
Yes, sir.
So they're pointing out this figure right here as the troubler of their world. And they have it in the political cartoon. This is supposed to be the French president, Charles de Gaulle, so he's speaking with a French accent. So he says, allow me in my French accent. My countrymen and fellow crooks, this fellow he has given to us the bad name. We must liquidate him so that we can devote our time towards the development of a glorious future. Mainly me. By the way, give it up for Brother Rashad. I was practicing that for about 2 weeks, people. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. But even though it's, somewhat facetious, it is at the same time indicative of the power and influence. Now, just a few years prior, 4 years prior, it was posted in Reader's Digest, 1960, that Elijah Muhammad is the most powerful black man in America.
That's right. That's right.
And they started, and they're really aiming towards white folks. That's their readership, white America. And putting white folk on notice. Look, this Elijah Muhammad, he's doing things that we don't understand, and we can't seem to do anything about it. He's the most powerful black man in America, yet we've leveled our government, our media, disinformation campaigns against him since the early 30s, and he's still here. Mm-hmm. So you have world leaders recognizing him as the source that is disturbing their world.
Come on. Trouble.
Brothers and sisters, if you knew the time frame that we are in, that is inherently messianic.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What the Messiah does, what Elijah does, who brings in the age of the Messiah, is disturb Satan's world.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's
Not with weapons,
Come
but
on.
with the truth.
True. That's right.
It is that fundamental truth, starting with the truth of who and what God is,
Yes.
that undermines the entire world of Satan.
Come on now.
So while you and I may look at the Nation of Islam as being, somewhat insignificant, they're just another one of those black groups, good people, but no, the enemy then, like now, understands that the root cause of his world's downfall, aside from their wickedness, is the truth brought by the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
It undermines the foundation of their world, because the truth, starting with the truth of God, the truth of who the enemy of God is, who and what Satan is, see, that
Come on.
nullifies the world of religion right there.
That's right.
Because all of religion been believing God is some kind of spook. We believe in God. We know he's a good God. We know he's a merciful God. That's not the problem. But we don't know his identity.
Come on.
We don't even know what God is. Well, he's a spirit. Okay, where does that spirit reside?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Why does the Bible and Quran suggest or tell you that God has human form?
Come on.
Oh, you don't want to, you can't deal with that. Oh, there you go.
Making me think.
See, we can't have that, right? Elijah Muhammad, his teaching, what he represents is the source of the downfall of Satan's world. They recognize that. Militarily, in military training and in military tactics and maneuvers, when you have opposition, you want to try to find the source of that opposition and try to tackle and undermine the source. You want to destabilize or kill the source. When there have been movements throughout the world, who's the leader? What's the source of this movement?
That's right.
If we can pinpoint the source and take out the source, we can destabilize the movement.
That's right.
That's how it's all put in biblical terms. Smite the shepherd.
Scatter the flock. Yes, sir.
See? Even though all black folks didn't even subscribe to Elijah Muhammad. Just like all black folks don't subscribe to the Nation of Islam. Some don't even like the nation. But the enemy recognizes who and what the source
That's right. That's right.
of they recognize what their greatest threat is. Why is it that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who represents, and he is the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a 93-year-old man, why, when they started banning people from social media, why was he the first of the high profile?
Come on now. Come on. 93 years old.
See, if you don't know who he is and what he represents, you just think, oh man, they just don't like him, they mad at him because, he do. No. He represents that messianic line that threatens their world.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So Elijah and all that he represents, the beginning of the judgment and the resurrection of God's people.
Yes, sir.
That's Elijah who initiates that. The trouble of Israel. He is also known as what is considered the registrar. Now, this is what we found deep in the Jewish scholars'
Yes, sir.
writings, Brother Briggs. So remember, Elijah is the one that's going to set off these things. That's who God has promised to raise before the great and dreadful day under the definitive name Elijah, because that name Elijah represents the presence of God.
Yes, sir.
Eli, Jah or Yah, Eli, my God.
Yes, sir.
Just like when Jesus was on the cross, he said, Eli, or Allahi, lama sabachthani, my God, my God. That first part, Eli, is my God.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Jah, that's an abbreviation for Yah or Jehovah.
Yes.
The Lord, my God. It is a call signifying the presence of God,
Yes, sir.
that God is on scene.
Good
Yes, sir.
teaching.
So
Yes, sir.
Elijah, not just because of his name, but just the fact that his name is Elijah, just puts a stamp on it. Like,
Yes, sir.
that's the one right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we can go on and on about the things and the proofs and whatnot. But I found it interesting that in the Jewish tradition, in their understanding of prophecy, they recognize that Elijah is to be what they call a registrar, a keeper and recorder of records. Remember, Elijah is to return with God's spaceship.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Come on.
Okay, let's keep that in mind now. Just so they believe Elijah, who is associated with God's spaceship, who doesn't die the way people thought he was supposed to die.
Yes, sir.
But they say he is the keeper of records. In other words, people who are to be registered
Come on now.
to be with God
Yes, sir.
go through Elijah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, man.
They write, thus Elias, that's another name for Elijah, thus Elias, a nobleman who still lives in the body, took a young man as his servant, talking about Elisha, or in this case, Farrakhan,
That's right.
to whom he left his mantle as a holy keepsake when he was taken up into paradise in a chariot of fire. O holy dispensation of God, who has provided for the coming age, Enoch, the righteous from among the first people, was commissioned to commit to writing the history of the first man or first people. And the holy Elias or Elijah was given the task of registering the new deeds of this later people. So Elijah is considered the registrar. In other words, he is the one who takes and records the names of those who are to be with God.
Come on, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the same thing you read about in Revelation about that lamb.
Yes, yes.
A lamb or a person described as a lamb who was supposed to be dead because he looked as though he had been slain from the foundation of the earth.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But then in Revelation, there's this picture of him up in heaven with God and these 24 scientists or elders and whatnot. And in Revelation, it talks about the Lamb's book of life,
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
which is a recording and a record of all of those names of the people who are with God.
Ooh, come on, man. Look at that.
See, there's something about the process when we become registered in the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is not something done by happenstance.
No, sir.
See, in the Nation of Islam, first of all of us, whether you are registered or not, you're a part of the Nation of
Yes,
Islam.
sir.
That's right.
But to become a registered member, we write this letter
Yes.
and go through a process where we are literally written down and kept in records under the auspices of Elijah,
Yes, sir.
the record keeper, the registrar.
Come on.
See, that's what it talks about, having your name in the Lamb's book of life.
Yes.
But you know what? It talks about those who don't have their names
Yes, sir.
in that book. I remember my mama, the late evangelist Mary Cross, said if your name is not in the Lamb's book of life, you might be thrown into a lake of fire. But that's real. And don't you know, that's the same thing it talks about in the Holy Quran. When they're questioning about those who are really with Jesus, the messenger Messiah. And Jesus was asking, who are my helpers in the cause of Allah? And they were like, well, we are your help. We are Allah's helpers. But these helpers and true followers of Jesus, they asked to be written down
Yes, that's
as
right.
helpers.
That's right.
They asked to be enlisted.
Yes, sir.
They asked to be registered
Yes, sir.
as helpers
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
in the divine cause of
Come on,
Allah.
man.
It comes from an Arabic phrase, fauktubna. In that phrase, fauktubna, you see the word katab, which in Arabic is what you get the word book from,
Yes.
or writing, katab, to write, to enlist. So it is this one. If you are truly with God, you don't just say shahada.
No, sir. No,
Anybody can say la ilaha illallah wa Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's good now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
But those who are with the messenger Messiah, they don't ask just to say shahada. They ask to be written down and registered as believers.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
That's a little thought I
That's right.
put out there.
Come on, come on.
That's right.
Elijah, the registrar.
That's right.
Yes.
What you say about that, Brother Dennis?
Come on now, come on.
Write me down.
Excellent.
Come on.
And again, this Elijah, he is significant and distinct from everybody because his God shows up in the real world. Hence, he is called the true and living God.
Yes.
His God, as with the God of all the other prophets, operates using some heavenly flying vessels. Whether they are described as flying chariots, whether they are described as God's heavenly throne amidst the clouds, whether they are described as clouds where God dwells, whether they are described as it's described as the New Jerusalem in the New Testament, the city of the living God, described as the heaven above,
Yes.
also described in the book of Galatians, Brother Bridge, as the mother of us all.
Wow.
Come on now.
As in mother plane, mother
That's right.
wheel.
That's
Ooh.
right.
See, real world fulfillment, people don't get it because we're right in the midst of it.
Yes, sir.
And it becomes so difficult. It's surreal. And one of the reasons it becomes difficult is because all of us have in our own mind how we think it should look like.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes the ideas that we form, even if the ideas are based on the scriptures, it's still some of our own ideas intertwine, and sometimes our own ideas might not mesh exactly with reality. So if reality is different from what we formed in our mind, we might reject reality because it didn't come the way we thought it should come.
That's right.
So even though the Nation of Islam is showing and proving to you in the real world, look, you say you believe this, this is it, it's happening. But because it differs from what you may have had in your mind, you got to reject it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
sometimes we do that in relationships.
Yes, yes.
You know,
Oh,
sister, you got this ideal man in your mind. He got to be 6'6", over 6 feet, making 6 figures. I'm sorry for betraying y'all like this. That's but you know, sometimes we can have that. That's our ideal. You know, and you probably deserve it.
that's right.
You're a good person. You know you got it going on. I deserve a 6 figure, all that. But sometimes God might send you the right one. Yeah, he might be 5'6". I don't know.
You got that 6.
He might only have 6 grand, 600 in the account. But he might have he might be what you need to get there now.
That's right.
You see?
That's right.
Same thing with us, brothers, you know.
Yes, sir.
The point is, we can sometimes have ideas that are on the right track, but they may be different from the exact reality that God provides for us. And because of that, we miss it. This is the case of prophecy and fulfillment. We are missing it. And it's taking place. The most critical part of the scriptures are being fulfilled by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and those of us who are with him in this day and time.
Yes, yes.
That's why the scripture refers to him and says, "Lo, I come in the volume of the book."
Yes, sir.
They are representing the volume of all the different prophets and messengers, and you get different aspects of their lives being fulfilled right before us. But at a certain point, this Elijah was destined to leave. And the scripture talks about how he was taken up. It said, and it came to pass when the Lord would take up Elijah by a whirlwind into heaven, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. But before Elijah is taken up, this is based on the biblical narrative, mind you. Before Elijah is taken up to be with God via this spaceship, via this fiery chariot from the sky, from heaven on a whirlwind that comes and rescues Elijah and takes him away, before Elijah is rescued and taken up on God's flying fiery chariot, he leaves Elisha with a double portion of the spirit and power to withstand the forces of death. So Elijah is about to leave to be with God, but before he leaves his servant, Elisha, his national representative, his assistant, with a double portion of that power. He leaves him his mantle and his cloak, like, you the one. Don't you know this is exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did in 72? Shortly before he left, he told the whole nation at Mosque number 2, which is Mosque Mariam, our headquarters. He told the nation, speaking of Minister Farrakhan, he called him out on several occasions and started talking, interrupted his own lecture, started talking about Minister Farrakhan, telling the believers, wherever he go, tell you to go, you go.
That's right.
Wherever he tells you to stay from, stay from. You know, he instructed us to listen to him, to hear him,
Yes,
to
sir.
follow him.
That's right.
Because if we follow him, he will get us safely on the other side of the lake, on his shoulders. And when he does it, he's not going to say, yeah, look what I've done. No, he's going to say, look what Allah has done.
Yes, sir.
Because he's a beautiful servant. So he said, continue to hear Minister Farrakhan.
That's right.
He gave explicit instructions
Yes, sir.
to the nation. Now, the FBI and other internal enemies had other plans. So even though the whole nation was expecting Minister Farrakhan to assume the leadership position right after the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, something totally different went down.
That's right.
And what went down was directly in line with the FBI's objectives to misdirect the nation according to what they wrote. Different subject for a different time. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was giving the minister a double portion of his power. They were being fused together before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed under the cover of death. And he also said, just like Elijah gave Elisha a double portion of his spirit, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you know, Brother Farrakhan is a very good minister. He has been with us for a long time, and he is a man full of fire, the fire of the Holy Spirit of Allah.
Yes, sir.
A wonderful minister. Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Made me think of that old Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers, Brother Breeze.
Come on.
Wonderful. That's before y'all time. I'm sorry. That's before your time, Sister Beverly.
Go ahead, brother.
But he's letting the nation again know. See, there aren't too many people, even in the scriptures, that have been designated with what is called the Holy Spirit.
Yes, sir.
Come on, come on.
That's some deep stuff right there.
That's true.
Now, anybody can have the Spirit of God, you know, and get caught up in the Spirit of God. I mean, the Spirit of God is in all of us right now.
Yes, sir.
So, but there's a distinction between somebody having and embodying the Holy Spirit
Come on now.
of Allah. Ooh, that's some serious juice that deserves more attention, but due to time, I'm going to try to get y'all out of here by 12 o'clock.
Take your time.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like the Elijah of the Bible, leaves on a spaceship, but is on the cover of death. And then nobody know he left but Elisha, who saw him. So it wasn't too many people that believed or knew that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had escaped death. And to this day, the entire world believes that Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam, died on February 25th, 1975, the weekend of our annual Savior's Day event, our holy time. He leaves, ironically, on the eve of Savior's Day. And as soon as he left, as soon as it was reported to the world that Elijah Muhammad had died at Mercy Hospital, one of the first things that the enemy started to mock in their newspapers was his teachings about the wheel. Remember, this is before all the evidence. This is in 75, before anybody even admitted to the existence of these so-called UFOs.
That's right.
We were still being mocked. And the Nation of Islam, which are the main proponents of this teaching, they found this as an opportunity to mock, our teaching and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching and association with these wheels. And they wrote, and you can kind of get the spirit in the writing. So within 24 hours of his assumed death, mainstream journalists mocked his teaching about the mother wheel. They stated, yet he would refer to the mother plane, a mysterious spaceship with superior beings, giant black gods or something like that, that patrol the universe, keeping an eye on the devil and ready to rescue black Muslims from Armageddon.
Wow.
You see the tone, that you find in there. You're a journalist, you get that. You can see the tone. So it's really like a backhanded mockery type of thing. But why is it that the government, through its media apparatus, saw fit to mock the wheel? See, we've been mocked for decades on this. But see now, if we can turn them away from this teaching, then they have no idea about this Elijah stuff. So the world to this day believed that Elijah Muhammad had died. But now this is another subject for another time. I can show you how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you, and it's documented both on recordings and all of that, how he would escape death, how he would leave, and what was going to happen when he left, and how his children were going to start tearing down all his work. Happened exactly.
Yes, sir.
You would have to either be the luckiest guesser in the entire world of history, or you have to be the man of God that you say you are to know what he knew and said. I don't have time to go into all of it right now, but needless to say, the world believed he had died. But then his servant, his Elisha, his national assistant, that he instructed the world and the nation to follow. And he said, because basically he knew what he put in Minister Farrakhan. Right. And he knew that even Minister Farrakhan would go through a slumber after he left, but would wake up to this reality. So in 1980 and 81, Minister Farrakhan stood up with the most unpopular declaration in the world. He said that Elijah Muhammad is physically alive. Oh, what? This is the most unpopular thing anybody could say or do, especially at that time. Because after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left, one of his sons, who never even believed in him, had taken over the nation and turned the nation away from his teaching, just like Elijah Muhammad said he would do. And of course the FBI facilitated that transition. This is just real, y'all. So it was such a time when they had turned on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much that to even mention his teachings of the wheel and all this kind of stuff, they considered it blasphemy. They called it darkness. They would even do something to you. Don't bring up that Elijah Muhammad teaching. That's darkness.
Yes.
We are
Yes,
true.
sir.
We're true Muslims now. We follow Islam the way that those in the East follow, as if that's true Islam,
Yes,
right?
really.
When your so-called true Islam cannot explain the reality of these wheels that are evident today.
Yes, sir.
It was those so-called true Muslims who said the nation was not true Muslims because of this teaching of these flying wheel-shaped crafts. But now that the world has to bear witness, now the Muslim world is looking like, oh, see? Everybody gonna have to bow down to Elijah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
real. You can't keep ignoring it. And don't you know that the Muslims, some of the so-called Orthodox Muslims who had once mocked us, saying that we're not true Muslims because of this teaching, don't you know that they had a conference here in Memphis? I was just getting back in town and found out about it. They had a conference and workshops in Memphis. Some of the Orthodox Muslims talking about UFOs.
Yes, sir.
They didn't invite us.
No, sir.
And the trip part about it, Brother Bridge, they were talking about UFOs and they set the parameters as to they said UFOs, are they aliens or are they jinn? They didn't invite us. None of the truth. See, that's what's called a false dilemma.
Yes.
That's a fallacy.
Yes.
When you offer only two options,
And none of them.
yeah, and neither one of them is the correct one.
Real.
And you totally leave out the other options of truth. So I'm like, look at this. And now here I am, the representative, if you
Yes,
will,
sir.
one of the lead researchers on behalf of Minister Farrakhan on
Yes,
this
sir.
topic in your city, but you ain't even called your boy. What's up with that, bro? What's up, man? I'm feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
But Minister Farrakhan in the 80s, he was castigated. You know, the new leadership that was, supported with FBI objectives
Yes, sir.
pushed Minister Farrakhan out. And they started changing the direction of the nation.
Yes.
But then Minister Farrakhan eventually rose back up. And then rising back up, he came to the realization that his teacher lives.
Come on.
And he put everything on it. Now think about this. Wouldn't it be much easier if you were just interested in getting people to follow you or something? Wouldn't it be much easier to say that Elijah Muhammad died, but he lives through us, or he lives through his works, and he lives through us working on his behalf? That would seem believable, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We accept that.
So if you were interested in people following you, you could just roll with that. But no. He takes the most unpopular position that Elijah Muhammad, that the world thought died on February 25th, 1975, is physically alive and breathing and with Allah on that wheel.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And he stated it before the world. He said, I, Louis Farrakhan, am saying to the world that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not physically dead.
Come on.
I am further stating that he was made to appear as such, as written in the Bible and in the Holy Quran, in order that the scriptures might be fulfilled.
Yes.
Fulfillment,
Yes.
prophecy, fulfillment. Now I have to challenge you. You believe somebody from 2,000 years ago
Come on.
died on the cross
Yes.
and rose and went up to heaven some kind of way, and that he's still alive. And I do not want you to think I'm being sacrilegious or anything like that, but I want you to think, if you did believe that it happened then, if you believe in the Old Testament that Elijah was taken up on a spaceship, a fiery chariot of God to be with God, you believe that, but you don't believe that a man who has proven that he is directly connected to a real world technology in these planes that have demonstrated their superiority over any technological, military, or scientific apparatus that this world can even consider.
Yes. Yes.
That's proven.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And Elijah Muhammad is directly associated with that power and the God responsible for it. Do you mean to tell me that such a power, such a God cannot make a man appear dead just as it was written in the prophecy?
Come on, come on, man.
Think about that. Yes.
Come on, make it make sense.
Just want you to think.
Yes.
Again, living in the midst of prophecy and fulfillment is much more difficult. It becomes easier way after the fact to look back, and generations can say, man, that's why right now, everybody, you read the scriptures and you, in your mind, you think, man, I wish I could have been back there with Moses. If I was with Moses, man, I would have been right there with him, man.
That's right.
Rest of the children of Israel murmuring and stuff, man, I would have been right there with Moses saying, yo, brother, man, let's go this way. I'm with you, man. If I was there with Jesus, I would have been right there. I would have pointed Judas out. I would have stood next to him as he fed the multitudes. You know, we would have been just, in our mind, we think like that because we are inherently good people.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And we believe in God, and therefore we believe in God's messengers, and we would like to think better of ourselves that we would have been there. We think that we would have been with Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Peace be upon him. You know, during the battles against the Quraysh and all of these, the battle of Uhud, Badr, and in our mind, you can't tell us nothing. But because we miss the real world fulfillment, we looking back and we are missing it. You know, it's really something. So the minister has challenged the world. There's more to this. He challenged the world, including the family of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
That's right.
to exhume whatever body is in that grave, and he would exhume and have the pay for the exhumation and have the dental records and see if the dental records match. He said, I will pay for it. And if the body or anything matches the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I will stop teaching.
Come on, that's right.
He said that in the early 80s.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That has been his challenge then. It is his challenge now. It wasn't just to the family. This is to the world. Now, how unpopular is that for a man that the world does not like anyway? He is the number one threat to the synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
The man ain't even been talking the past year, and the ADL still calls him the leading black anti-Semite. The most dangerous voice.
Come on, man.
Farrakhan, I tell you. Well, hell, if you want me to stop teaching, all you got to do is, hell, I pay for it.
That's right. That's right.
I'll give my life. But nobody challenged.
Nobody. That's right.
He even said before the public, 1996 Savior's Day, he had just came back from overseas, and the media was talking all crazy about him. He went to Iran and Iraq and Libya and whatnot. They said Farrakhan is cavorting with dictators, and the government was threatening him, and they denied the gift of over $1 billion that Libya,
Yes.
African Muslim country, wanted to give Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam to help black people in America.
That's right.
Over $1 billion. They were promising the wealth of Libya
Yes, sir.
so that the Nation of Islam can help restore black people like we've been trying to damn do anyway.
Anyway.
But who denied that?
Come on.
Your government.
That's right.
The same damn government that don't even consider reparations for you after they done destroyed you as a people.
That's right. See, man.
They won't even help you and won't let nobody else help
That's
you.
right.
That's right. That's right.
So don't act like Minister Farrakhan ain't the most significant one among us.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Absolutely.
But this man is telling the world Elijah lives
Yes.
and daring you and anybody to challenge him on it.
Come on.
I will stop teaching. And if that's not good enough, I will give my life.
Yes, sir.
Since you want it any damn way.
That's right.
Why is this not even brought up?
Come on.
See, the days of empty rhetoric is over.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Either he is telling the truth and he knows something, or he crazy as hell.
That's right.
It's not even an in-between on that.
No, sir.
It's not like Elijah Muhammad cannibalized. Hell no. Either he dead or alive.
Dead or
Yes,
alive.
sir.
That's it.
Straight up.
Come on.
So he, like the Apostle Paul says, look, if Christ be not risen, then our teaching is in vain.
Teach hard, man.
See, all that you've been talking about and praying over and singing over, we are living in the real world fulfillment.
Teach, man. Teach.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you, but during those Easter speeches and whatnot, we used to sing that song, Because He Lives. Y'all don't mind if I can face tomorrow.
Come on.
Help me out, Brother Bridge. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Then the words, and yes, I know He holds my future.
Come on, Professor.
And life is worth the living just because He lives.
Come on, brother.
And yeah, that's when you get the organ. Look, we might get somebody to pay tithes. I got on my televangelist suit too. I'm over here singing, boy. Let me make sure I save my voice when it's time to collect tithes, boy. Brother Bridge told me I look like Jimmy Swaggart or something. Oh, boy. But this is real, dear family. It is so surreal that it is difficult to believe. Now, again, it would be so much easier for him to say Elijah Muhammad lived through his works. He lived through us, even though he may be dead physically. No. That's not the position of Minister Farrakhan, nor is that the position of the Nation of Islam. This is the most unpopular position in the world. Yet it is the most unchallenged position.
That's right.
And it is inherently tied to our teachings concerning the reality of those wheel-shaped aircraft that are the vessels of God and his real-world angels.
Yes.
Angels who, by the way, are humans as well,
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
but humans with extraordinary capabilities, if you will. Yes. Now look, this is something that disturbs the world of religion, and the Nation of Islam answers those questions.
Yes, sir.
Now I know that sounds real bold. Either we crazy as hell, or we know what we're talking about,
Yes,
for
sir.
real. So this is something that I'm telling you, the Muslim world, the Christian world, Judaism, the world of religion, hell, the world of science is going to have to deal with this,
Yes, sir.
you know? And we can't look at it on some surface level and just dismiss the nation as they have done for so long. At some point, we're going to have to look and really start to examine, did Elijah Muhammad meet God? Because everything we are showing and proving to you is predicated on the notion that Elijah Muhammad met and was taught by God in person. That's what the root of this thing is. If that ain't true, none of the rest is true.
Yes, sir.
That's just how crucial, and that's why you will find, especially I'm noticing as of late, all this propaganda I'm seeing on little YouTube channels and whatnot, where people are purporting these age-old lies. Some of it's just too silly. They're talking about Master Father Muhammad. This is, remember, Elijah Muhammad said that Allah, God, appeared in the person of Master Father Muhammad.
Yes.
Now, they don't come to us. Everybody got their own little interpretation or opinion or even outright lies about who Master Father Muhammad is. Never come to us. Don't even invite us to the discussion. You don't invite the Nation of Islam to Nation of Islam discussions. I've noticed that this is the case when it comes to the nation more than anybody, more than any group. Whether it's in the world of academia on a scholarly level, you know, in higher learning, you find papers dealing with Minister Farrakhan, dealing with the Nation of Islam, but they won't even consider. They don't even question us. You know, and when we do, you know, suggest or present information, no. It has to come through this route, you know. What? See, they are gatekeepers because this truth is the most threatening truth to their world. Now, oh my God, it's almost 12 o'clock. So, for those who don't know, Minister Farrakhan, remember in the early 80s, he made the declaration that Elijah Muhammad is physically alive. Then on September 17th, 1985, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan undergoes a tremendous divine experience.
Yes, sir.
I have to just zoom through this. Long story short, while he was in Mexico, just after he delivered a very powerful yet controversial lecture, Power at Last Forever, in LA. Outside of that, the JDL and the Jewish leaders were yelling with posted signs, who do you want? Farrakhan. How do you want him? Dead. See? A lot of controversy. Now the audience was packed with cheering black folks, but you had these influential Jewish groups who influenced Congress and influenced media. They outside chanting for his death.
Yes, sir.
Because in their eyes, he is the number one enemy to their world. And he is.
Yes, sir.
The truth he speaks is. Because you are Satan. Truth is your enemy. God is your enemy.
Yes.
Then and now. So on September 17th, 1985, the minister has an experience. In this experience, he is taken up on the mother wheel while he's in Mexico. During this experience, he hears the Honorable Elijah Muhammad coming from a speaker. He doesn't get to see him, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells him things and gives him certain instructions, the bulk of which I don't have time to mention. He mentions that Reagan, who was the president at that time, had met with his Joint Chiefs of Staff to plan a war. The minister later found out that to be true.
Yes, sir.
But one thing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, he said, I want you to hold a press conference in Washington, D.C. and tell them these different things that I told you just now. But I want you to tell the world, that you got it from me, Elijah Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
on the wheel.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now be mindful, the world believes Elijah Muhammad is dead to this day.
Yes, sir.
And he says that, and Minister Farrakhan follows those instructions. He has a press conference. In Washington, D.C., an international press conference. In this press conference, he lays it down. He talks about how he was taken up on the wheel. Now be mindful, this is the man who's considered the number one enemy to white America. Congress at that time, a year prior, had just officially condemned Minister Farrakhan. They censored him.
That's right.
The all-white Congress at that time, Senate, the most powerful legislative body in the world, voted 95-0 to censure Minister Farrakhan based on lies that the Jews and the AIPAC and the rest of the boys said that he said something anti-Semitic, and therefore we need to condemn this citizens and we need to use our congressional power to condemn him. See, that lets you know, just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they pointed him out.
That's right.
The minister always been that one.
Yes, sir.
That's not on the news every day, but he that one. So he holds a press conference, and at the end, he tells the world that he got this from Elijah Muhammad on the wheel. He tells them about what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad revealed to him while on the wheel about the president meeting with his Joint Chief of Staff to plan wars. And later he found out these wars was against black and youth. He realized that it was also against the Muslim world. And he went to warn Gaddafi in Libya in 1986, a few months afterwards. So, and then he ended that press conference, international press conference at the nation's capital, D.C., by saying, you know, he told the world about his experience on the wheel. and how he was taken to the larger wheel by way of one of the smaller wheels.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is, again, context. The most controversial leader in America, Louis Farrakhan, the number one threat to white Western powers, the Jewish leaders who control media and politics, deem him the most dangerous voice in America. Okay? Context. So no lightweight dude. He's telling the world this, and then he ends his press conference by challenging them and the world that if you wish to make mockery of me over what Allah revealed to me in these wheels,
Come on.
if you want to make fun of these wheels that we've been telling you about, then I promise you that you will start to see these wheels over the major cities of America.
That's right.
That was a dare in an international press conference at the nation's capital. Don't you know that very night and the days following, right there in D.C. and Baltimore, which is right next door, there were sightings that were on camera of one of these small wheels in the air, just in the cut, like, yeah, y'all see this, don't you? And it stayed there. It was so important. And there were other sightings too throughout Baltimore and the weeks following, all over some of the other major cities. But right there in D.C. on the local news, they were talking about these sightings, but they refused to mention anything about Minister Farrakhan, who just told you what you were going to see.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
See, that's called a conspiracy of silence.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
They are not allowed to even deal with this. On an academic level, not publicly anyway, they're not allowed to engage us on these kind of matters. Because if they did, it would give clear proof to you and anybody else who can think
Yes.
that Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad have to be divinely backed by the power of God. Can't nobody do or say what they do without the help of God.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
The fact that the Nation of Islam is even here is a miracle.
It is.
Let me tell you something. We got some smart brothers and sisters, but we ain't that smart. We don't know how to deal with this enemy.
Yeah, come on, man.
Only a mighty God
That's right.
can let us be here with all the attacks, and the nation has withstood more than anybody. All praise is due to Allah.
Yes.
Man, okay, I've already run over time. Can I make a deal with y'all?
Yes, sir.
Can y'all give me, I say, 15 more minutes?
Yes, sir.
I know that's a lot.
Take care.
15.
Come on, you ain't got no lights. I don't know it. Come on.
Now, y'all got lights in family, but I'm going to try to make it quicker than that. But I want to make this point. See, after that time, that was 85 with the experience. Afterwards, this is just history now. A few months afterwards, the minister goes overseas. He warns, he's in Libya. He warns Libya, and there were like 80 other African nations present. He warns them, tells them about his experience
Yes, sir.
on the wheel, and the warning that came after and how America was planning a war. He is given divine insight into matters that's taking place in the highest echelons of government and presidents and military powers. That is part of the divine insight that he was given in his experience on the wheel.
Yes, sir.
And he's been talking about it. And by Minister Farrakhan exposing the president and the military's plans, that thwarted a lot of their international and domestic objectives
Come on.
that they were plotting anyway, from the war on drugs to attacking Libya and those other countries. The minister been forewarning us for years, and they are doing exactly what he said they were going to do.
That's right.
So his exposure of this information makes him the primary disclosure threat, not just of UFO reality, even though all of this came from the wheel and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad giving him this information, but he now becomes the primary disclosure threat. The truth that he is speaking is a threat to America and Western world's national security.
Yes, sir.
But that's written in the scriptures.
Come on, come on.
Before Elijah in the Bible was taken up, and he left his servant Elisha with a double portion of his power, Elisha would undergo something similar, because Elisha would get some revelation from on high about what was taking place in the king's secret chambers.
That's right. Go ahead.
And Elisha started talking about what the king's secret plan was. Somehow the word got to the king, Brother Tim.
Yes, sir.
This is in the 2 Kings in the 6th chapter, y'all.
Yes, sir.
And the king found out, like, how the hell did he know that?
Come on, come on.
Wasn't nobody in here with me except me and some of my private soldiers. What the hell? Who is this person exposing my war plans? See? He becomes the disclosure threat.
Yes, sir.
To the point where it ticked the king off, where the king summoned his army to go and capture this Elisha fellow, because Elijah was a threat to their national security.
Yes.
Somehow Elisha knew what was going on in the king's secret chambers.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I know about that, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, Minister Farrakhan disturbed the then President Reagan and all the other presidents following their plans against black youth, their plans against Muslim and African nations, and he became the primary disclosure threat. And after he went to Libya in Africa in '86, a few months after his experience, the Reagan administration threatened that anybody
That's right.
going over there,
That's right.
any American citizens going to Libya, messing with Gaddafi, who was considered the mad dog of the East, you know, they were dogging Gaddafi.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know, anybody, any American citizens will be arrested and fined, because that's like treason and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
They had Minister Farrakhan in mind.
Yes,
In
sir.
fact, I think it was Secretary of State Edwin Meese at the time that mentioned Farrakhan by name.
Yes, sir.
George Bush was vice president. He too mentioned Farrakhan by name. So there were, minister was overseas when they made these declarations. And there were actually wanted signs in customs and stuff like that, so that whenever Minister Farrakhan made it back to the States, he is to be apprehended immediately.
Come on, man. Come on.
Now, this is no lightweight stuff. I'm telling you about
Yes,
the
sir.
man of God, y'all.
Yes, sir. Go
You
ahead.
read about it in Elisha, where Elisha, the king, summoned his army to go capture Elisha. And they had Elisha surrounded in a place called Dothan, I think. And just as the king and his army had Elisha and his servants surrounded, Elisha just prayed, closed his eyes, and then when he opened his eyes, he saw some of these fiery chariots over the mountain behind where the king and his army was.
Yes,
And all of a sudden, according to this Bible story, there was a blindness that came over the king and his army
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
that allowed Elisha and his servant to just walk away to freedom and safety.
Yes, sir.
Now that's a mean Bible story, ain't it?
Come on, man.
Now we can preach about it because we think that happened a long time ago. Oh, God delivered Elisha. He delivered him. And he can deliver you too. And, ooh. All right, now don't get me preaching over here. But look, that is a cold story.
Yes, sir.
But don't you know the same thing happened with the minister?
That's right.
Absolutely.
He was overseas, and the Reagan administration had ordered for him to be apprehended as soon as he made it to the States. So there were posters and stuff up at customs and whatnot. And you can hear, and I have this recorded from people like Abdul Sharif, who was the supreme captain of the Nation of Islam. He accompanied Minister Farrakhan. He and the late brother Salim during that delegation. And the minister knew what was to take place. He heard that he's supposed to be arrested upon entry. The minister was not bothered.
No,
Come
sir.
on, man.
In fact, his security was more bothered than he was. And when they made it to customs, they made it back to the States. They didn't know what plane he was on because it was, look, God works things out so cold. That's another story. I have to let the minister tell you that one. They ended up getting on a plane that wasn't supposed to get on with a pilot that was a brother, an African brother,
Come on.
who knew who Minister Farrakhan was and loved the minister and heard his lecture from Madison Square Garden.
Yes, sir.
And was like, oh, they said we're supposed to do this. You want to go where? So it ended up taking him a different route
Yes.
than what was planned. So the minister made it to the States, and now they're at customs and whatnot. The minister and Sharif and Salim, and the minister, like Elisha, he said he paused, kind of prayed or something. And then he told Sharif them, he said, look, I'm just going to walk straight through. Sharif, now this is top security. Sharif like, what was that, brother minister? He said, I'm going to walk straight through. He said, and then after a while, I want you to come too. You know, and I think Salim went first.
Yes, sir.
And the minister just walked right on through.
Yes, sir.
They didn't see anything.
Come on now.
It was like a blindness
Yes,
came
sir.
over them.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
The minister walked right on through, and so Sharif later, and they made it home safely.
Yes, sir.
They were in the country almost 2 weeks before anybody even realized that he was here.
Yes, sir.
Before the State Department, anybody. And the only way they knew he was here is because he gave a press conference. He gave a press conference. They're like, what the hell? What that nigga get out? Good Lord. See, telling you, this is a real God
Yes.
we're dealing with. God is real. He is no spook, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
And now you know what? I think I'm going to be good. And I think I'm going to end with that right there, because that's the first part. All praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
And maybe perhaps, and by the way, let's thank Brother Dimitri too, man. He's
Yes,
my
sir.
brother. He's in Detroit right now. And so maybe we'll come back or something. Because remember, our topic is he calls for Elijah. What we've done today, because I talk so much, we've dealt mostly with Old Testament. But that call is when Jesus is on the cross.
Yes, sir.
How do we get from Elijah of the Old Testament to people hearing Jesus in his most crucial hour calling for Elijah? So maybe this Messiah figure who is being humiliated, who's in the midst of being crucified, in the midst of going through the portal of death, maybe he's calling on Elijah because Elijah is alive and capable of saving him under the direction of God. Oh, this is some shit. Is this your phone? Whose phone is this, brother? This yours, Brother Briggs? Look, I ought to answer this phone for him, brother. Brother Rozelle, eh?
Yes, sir.
But we have to get to that point, and it's something because, you know, the Old Testament closes out with this prophecy of Elijah. God is going to send Elijah, and then it opens the New Testament with the genealogy of Jesus.
Come on. Come on.
So you go from Elijah, a promise of Elijah coming, then you get with Jesus, who is the key sign of the Messiah. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I don't know, I said 15, what was it, 12:05 when I said 15 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Take 30.
No, I ain't gonna do you like that. But Jesus, remember, prophecy and fulfillment. Don't you know that your Christian scholars realize that what you read of Jesus, most of it never happened?
Come on. Come on.
When you read of Jesus, now there was a powerful prophet named Jesus that lived 2,000 years ago. Powerful.
Go ahead.
But even he was a sign of the one that is to come in the last days, that messianic one. So what you read of Jesus didn't necessarily happen back then. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions that. And I'm zooming through some of this, and that's why both the Holy Quran and the Bible let you know some of this. In the Holy Quran, it tells us how both Jesus and his mother are signs. They are signs, prophetic signs. And even in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, in the 19th chapter, you ought to check it out. It talks about this part where you should worship God. But it says, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. The testimony of Jesus. So all that you read about Jesus in the Bible, God is letting you know that's the testimony of prophecy. You ever heard a preacher quote this before?
No, sir.
Well, look, most preachers don't even deal with Revelation altogether, right? But this is key. So while we are looking back on our Savior, we don't see it taking place right before our eyes. And it took place with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's taking place with the minister. Because just as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a rendezvous with destiny and would go through the portal of death and would be made to appear dead, as the Holy Quran says, your brother before you, Minister Farrakhan, is fulfilling other aspects of that. Yes, yes. And you can tell the fulfillment of this Jesus figure, you can tell because he's marked by his enemies.
Come on.
You ever heard that saying, you can tell the weight of a man not necessarily by who his friends are, but by who his enemies are.
That's right.
Now, this man's enemies is the most powerful government. And within that government and outside of that government, the Jewish lobby, the synagogue of Satan, the Zionist groups and whatnot, who have deemed Minister Farrakhan their number one threat, the most dangerous voice, okay? And this is what you find in the scriptures when you read about Jesus. The Jewish leaders deemed him the number one threat. I'm reminded when he went into the temple of God and drove out all those who bought and sold in the temple and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold doves. So Jesus is a threat even to their economic stability.
Yes.
So you have a man who's exposing who's behind the international, the IMF, who's behind the World Bank. See, Minister Farrakhan has been the one on the lead telling you who the Rothschilds were. We didn't know who the hell nothing about Rothschilds
No, sir.
until the minister was telling us that stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Right. Yes, sir.
See, he's disturbing the money changers. And it was after that that they decided, oh, we got to do something about him. He's the one that's speaking to the multitudes that ticked off the Jewish leaders when the Jewish leaders saw how Jesus was doing these miracles and doing what nobody could do and speaking to the multitude that they said. These are the Jewish leaders. See, if we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him.
Yes, sir.
And the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation.
Come on.
See, those Zionists in particular.
Yes, sir.
See, we can't let folk hear Farrakhan. That's why they banned him from all their platforms.
Yes, sir.
It was in the mid-90s, after the Million Man March, and around that time when you noticed the Minister Farrakhan and the nation wasn't invited to speak at colleges and black colleges anymore.
That's right.
Now, the early nation came up because the minister, the black students, and oh, please come. But the Jews and white folks that control the money that goes to black colleges, oh, you bet not. So the ADL had made, this was published in 94. They said the ADL is not going to make Farrakhan go away. But what we can do is impose an obligation on those who deal with him. Or as in the case of universities, give him a platform. See, we can't stop Farrakhan from doing what he's doing. But what we can do is stop him from speaking on those platforms that we control, because our money is the one that fund your black education.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
If you didn't know that.
Go ahead.
So we can impose an obligation. If any of these college presidents, you let them come speak at your college, I don't give a damn if the students want them. I said no.
Yes, sir. That's right.
In each case, the burden should be on those who give Farrakhan some measure of credibility to insist that he act responsibly and put a lid on his bigotry and anti-Semitism. See, that's what you call the passion of the Christ. Now, we can go through so many other scenarios of Jesus being at odds with the leaders, particularly the Jewish leaders, because he is the number one threat. So at a certain point, Jesus, and I'm going to end right here, Jesus, in this prophetic picture, is in a state of humiliation, He's in a state where he is weakened, where he's quote unquote dying. Okay? And it is during this, what seems to be vulnerable state, that the enemy is gloating. The enemy is gloating. And it's during this state that he is said to believe calling on Elijah's. So the bystanders believe this when Jesus says, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But some of the bystanders, they thought he was calling for Elijah as he was hanging on the cross. Then some of them, they were really mocking him, saying, let's see if Elijah comes and saves him.
Yeah.
That's right.
See, this is what you are really seeing
Yes, sir.
and about to see
Yes.
if you can read prophecy.
Yes, sir.
If you understand some of what's going on in the world. You see the minister in this vulnerable state, his legs weakened. He's not walking like, his mind's sharp as hell. Boy.
Yes.
But he seemed weakened, and now everybody, because they feel the nation is vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because in their mind, they just personality worshipers. When the minister gone, they ain't gonna know what to do. That's how they think, right? So now you hear them coming up with all these lies and slander. Yeah, the minister this and blah, 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 the nation that, and Master Father Muhammad this and whatnot. See, the slander. The domestic life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They resurfacing and putting some new stuff on that. I've even heard saying they run with anything. They said that the reason the Nation of Islam became so powerful is because a white billionaire
Go ahead.
was secretly funding the Nation of Islam.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
Some oil tycoon.
Yes, sir.
That's the best you can do. See, that's what they did about Jesus. Remember, Jesus was doing what they couldn't do, so they said, well, he does these things by the power of Beelzebub.
Yes.
See, they wouldn't give God the credit.
Right.
They wouldn't say, you know what, this brother doing the work of God, that's why he's successful. No, you attribute his success by giving it your own interpretation and say, no, he does these things from being empowered by Beelzebub, which is another word for the devil.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Same thing.
Yes, sir.
But if you don't know prophecy, you can't see that. So the minister is in a vulnerable state. And all this talk about the wheel and UFOs that we've been talking about, when it is reported that Louis Farrakhan is dead and he died and blah, 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 that's when you'll see even more mockery.
Yes.
Oh, I thought y'all were talking about that mother plane. I thought Elijah Muhammad was alive. Let's see if Elijah's going to save him.
Come on, man. That's in the book.
Elijah on that chariot of fire in the sky. See, ain't even happened back then.
Yes, sir.
But it's so hard because you're right in the midst of it.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
But the book does tell you that Jesus is taken up through a cloud and his angels promise his return in like manner. So Jesus can't be up on no cloud or be taken up through a cloud unless he had some type of apparatus, some type of machine, some type of plane to help facilitate that.
Yes, sir.
And this is exactly what the Nation of Islam and the Nation of Islam only answers for the world.
Yes, sir.
The truth that Allah, God, did come in person and provided the real world proof and technology of his capability and power to save and rescue his servants, just as the prophecy said he would do. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening. May God bless you as I greet you. Assalamu alaikum. Woo, boy, that was a difficult subject right there.